Jaina versus Garrosh.
Victory or death!
You asked for it.
Effigy isn't exactly the best secret to have with Kirin Tor Mage. I think I'd rather have Mirror Entity. But playing Kirin Tor Effigy on turn 2 is pretty good. Maybe a little less so against a warrior since he can just play Fiery War Axe. Maybe I just hold the Kirin Tor Mage for turn 3. But I'm not sure I even want to play the Sorcerer's Apprentice on 2. Looks like his deck is somewhat interesting. It could still just be Dragon Warrior that happens to have N'Zoth's First Mate in it. But with this hand, I can go Sorcerer's Apprentice on 2, Kirin Tor on 3, Coin Avian Watcher on 4. But what are the odds that my Avian Watcher is actually active on 4? If I play Effigy, it's very likely that he pops the Effigy. But if I play Counterspell, it's kind of like having a dead card in play because there's not much to counterspell against this deck, probably. Whatever line of play I'm taking, I don't think I want to play the Coin here. I might just Hero Power that guy this turn instead of playing Sorcerer's Apprentice. So if I play Kirin Tor Effigy, the Fiery War Axe is definitely going to kill it, like not even a question. But there's no way that my Avian Watcher would get the buff on turn 4 if I coined it out. So maybe I do need to play Kirin Tor Counterspell whenever I play it. If I play Sorcerer's Apprentice here, it just dies to the Fiery War Axe. I could go like Mana Worm, Coin Ping, but that also just dies to the Fiery War Axe. But the Fiery War Axe is going to kill something eventually. I guess by Hero Powering here, I deny him a Bloodsail Cultist, which is pretty nice. I think I do just like Hero Powering here. I still don't really know what he's playing. It could still just be Dragon Warrior, but it's starting to. It seems like it might just be a Pirate Warrior.
My blade be thirsty.
So unfortunately, the Frothing Berserker doesn't really give me any information either. If I play Kirin Tor Mage, he has to Fiery War Axe it, because it challenges the Frothing Berserker, but he wants to Fiery War Axe it anyway, so that doesn't really mean that much. But I think Kirin Tor really is the only play here. Question is, do I play Effigy for immediate board presence? The 3-drop is pretty likely to have enough attack that I can contest the Frothing with my Hero Power at least. Or do I just play Counterspell for the Avian Watcher the following turn? The Avian Watcher is going to be pretty good. It also activates my Valet. I think I like the Counterspell. I'm kind of assuming this is Dragon Warrior right now. What spells do they even play? So I could just throw down the Avian Watcher here, but it just kind of dies to Weapon and Kor'kron Elite. Gonna make his Frothing have 6 attack, and then I guess I can always just kill it with Medivh's Valet plus Hero Power. But that's a pretty weak following turn. And if he has, like, Blackwing Corruptor this turn, just a lot of stuff to be putting on the board that I can't really deal with. Maybe this turn is just, like, Mana Worm, Coin, Valet, and then either Sorcerer's Apprentice or Hero Power, depending on what I want to kill.
Excuse me, you are on fire.
I think I like killing off the Frothing. It's just too scary. If I kill off the Kor'kron Elite here, Frothing goes up to 4, his Fiery War Axe puts it up to 5, then he has a 5/4 Frothing on board, and I have nothing to contest it really. I guess I would also have a Sorcerer's Apprentice on board if I killed the Kor'kron Elite instead of the Frothing. Oh wow, he didn't have a dragon. I can kill the Kor'kron Elite if I Hero Power into it, but Hero Powering into it's so awkward. Because then I'm left with only 3 mana, and like, what do I do with 3 mana? Another play is just slam down the Avian Watcher. If he doesn't have removal for it, it's pretty hard for him to kill. And even if he has the Execute, I have a Counterspell in play, so there's a very good chance the Avian Watcher just trades with his 2 minions on board. Normally Slam plus the Blackwing Corruptor would be a pretty good answer to it, but again I have the Counterspell up. I can also go double Sorcerer's Apprentice plus Effigy here, but I have to leave both of his minions up and take 9 damage this turn. I go down to 8. I don't really want to be down to 8, but I do have quite a bit of a board. I think I kind of like the simple play. Just throw the big taunt in the way of his 2 minions. It's very likely to trade with both of them. My hand is kinda out of gas, but I do have Kabbalah's Tome. That should give me quite a bit of fuel. If I'm in a good enough spot, I can play Sorcerer's Apprentice Tome next turn, but that seems unlikely. We're gonna have double Ichor Execute. Oh, he just played the Ravaging Ghoul in the wrong spot. That was actually not that good for him, because now my 2-2 can test his Core Chron Elite anyway. I can actually clear his board here, send the 2-2 into the 4-2, Hero Power the 2-1, leaves me with 4 mana, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Frostbolt the 3-3. I kinda like that. I don't think there's really any way that I can justify like playing Kabbalah's Tome this turn. He's so low on cards that just clearing his board and leaving him potentially with nothing has a lot of value. And if these Sorcerer's Apprentices live to the next turn, the Kabbalah's Tome is going to be really sick. So there's a bit of a question, do I play Arcane Intellect or Kabbalah's Tome first? If I play Arcane Intellect, it lets me draw into minions potentially. I'd get to, you know, develop some minions, which I think I would rather develop minions than just have some spells here. I think I will start with the Arcane Intellect. This gives me better potential on-board plays this turn. Looks like I didn't draw into anything though, so I'll just go for the Kabbalah's Tome anyway. The Ice Barrier is actually pretty good here. It's hard for him to kill me from this life total without attacking. Like maybe 2 Rag hits or something, but it's not that likely that Rag is going to hit me in the face twice. I think I'm just going to play all my secrets here. As a Dragon Warrior, he's probably looking to play a big minion on 8, maybe Ragnaros. I copy it with Mirror Entity, even if he hits it with his Rag, I have the Effigy up. I think I'm in a pretty good spot right now. I also just have a lot of burn in my hand. And actually, I think he's probably just dead here. Unless he's still... No, I had the coin this game, so... Not really sure what he could do. Yeah, I could just ping my own Gromish, and I had 16 on board, plus I had 9 in hand.
Jaina versus Jaina.
You asked for it. Oh, it is on.
I think going first, I just want Mana Worm, Frostbolt, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Kirin Tormage. And I do want a secret to go with my Kirin Tormage if I draw it, but Counterspell is one of my weaker options. And if I don't draw into the Kirin Tormage, it's pretty bad. My hand is pretty weak right now, I would say. I definitely have a really bad opener. It's going to be hard to win this game, unless he just whiffs from here on out.
Let's make magic.
Which it looks like he's not going to whiff from here on out. So I could just play Mirror Entity here, but it's pretty easy for Tempo Mage to just not play a minion on turn 3. So the Mirror Entity isn't like super impactful necessarily. I could play the Sorcerer's Apprentice here, but I don't really have any good way to use all my mana. I could play Effigy, but it seems like if I play Effigy, my next turn is going to be Sorcerer's Apprentice plus a spell, and Effigy on the Sorcerer's Apprentice isn't especially good. Maybe I just play Arcane Intellect here, Effigy next turn, and then Avian Watcher on 5, try to get back in the game like that. I think I'm just going to play Mirror Entity though. I think I need something for the board. If I just like play a secret and then play Avian Watcher on 5, even if I'm not like dead by then, he's still just going to have so much time to like hoard cards. He's going to have removal for the Avian Watcher, so even though it's big, the health is just not. I'm so confused right now. But even though the Avian Watcher would be a big minion for turn 5, he'd probably have removal. So I guess he coined the test for Counterspell? I guess he thought maybe I played Counterspell so that I could set up a Medivh's Valet for this turn, which I guess is a somewhat reasonable assumption. But the way he played around that, I'm not sure that I like. Maybe his turn 4 will really sell me on that play. I have a feeling it won't. So here, I guess I'm just going to go Sorcerer's Apprentice, Arcane Intellect, maybe? If I go for the Sorcerer's Apprentice with the Arcane Intellect here, it's pretty likely that the Mirror Entity gets triggered. But even if I play the Effigy along with it, the Effigy is just going to get triggered too. So I think I can't really count on the Avian Watcher being active next turn. It'd be really nice if he just played like Frostbolt on the Sorcerer's Apprentice and then pinged my face here. And then I could actually play the Avian Watcher next turn. Wow, that's aggressive. Also, last turn he coined after attacking with the Mana Worm, so he missed 1 damage. But it looks like that's probably not going to matter at all. I have to just play the Avian Watcher here. It probably dies, but if it eats a Fireball, I guess that's a Fireball that's not hitting me in the face. But he still gets to push 8. Oh, I'm dead. Well then.
Jaina versus Valera.
Watch your back. You asked for it.
So I just played against this guy. I know he's playing a questing adventure list. Not sure if that really changes my mulliganing strategy at all, or like my early game strategy at all. But I guess it's good to know that he might be going for a questing adventure, try to hold on to a Frostbolt or something. He has the coin, so if I just play out the Sorcerer's Apprentice here, there's a pretty good chance he just has like coin SI, and short of that he might just have backstab. I have like no real follow-up to it. Maybe I just hold the Sorcerer's Apprentice here. Doesn't really feel great. I think if I had a high pressure curve, I would have been a lot more willing to play out the Sorcerer's Apprentice there and just take the risk. Maybe he has coin SI. But since I have basically nothing in the coming turns, I'm fine with just passing. I think I'm just going to play the Arcane Intellect over the Effigy here. Effigy is obviously a nice card to have in play, but I'm not going to play anything next turn that gets any value off the Effigy. So if I played Effigy here, it would probably just be Arcane Intellect next turn anyway. So I may as well draw the cards first. Maybe it can give me something a little bit better. And he did have coin SI. I don't know if him having coin SI makes it correct to have played around it, but he did have it. I probably want to Frostbolt that, so the question is what do I do along with it? Maybe just throw out one of my Medivh's Valets. I think it might be hard to get value out of those. A lot of times the win condition against Rogue is just killing all their stuff, so maybe having the 2 extra pseudo Frostbolts in my hand has some value.
What to do?
I'm either playing Frostbolt, Sorcerer's Apprentice, or just Frostbolt here. I think at this point, since the coin SI is no longer really a good play for him, I'm willing to play out the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Depending on what he does, I have a lot of plays next turn. I can just play Azure Drake, which is probably the most likely. I can just play Kabbalist Tome. I can't really imagine a situation where I'd play Kabbalist Tome over Azure Drake. I can also Effigy Medivh's Valet. And also Hero Power Effigy. Can't feel too good prepping a Deadly Poison. I don't have any way to kill the Azure Drake here. So I guess I'd probably just play my own Azure Drake here. This can be the turn that I start falling really far behind. I can't just let the questing adventurer grow, because then eventually I just won't be able to kill it. So I guess I have to make this play. It kinda sucks because it takes up 5 of my 6 mana. All I develop is a 2/3, and I have a 2-drop in play with Effigy. But I feel like if I just leave the questing adventure uncontested, I just straight up lose the game. Would have been really nice to have like Frostbolt there so I could play Water Elemental. Maybe I just get Millhouse Mana Storm. Wonder if he's actually even gonna bother killing the Lightwell. You probably do, right? Because if you hit face for 5 here, then the Lightwell just heals up some of it anyway. Wow, he's concealing just Azure Drake?
This guy's toast.
I guess he just really wanted to combo the SI. Is a conceal in hand really worth less than 1 charge on the dagger? Seems pretty unlikely for that to be the case. So I could play the Valet and the Effigy again. I get to kill the 3/3, but again I'm in kind of a weird spot with Effigy and 2-drop in play, plus it wastes the other 2 mana that I have. I think I kinda like Water Elemental Effigy. The Water Elemental itself contests his board fairly well, and if he kills it, it gives me something else that contests his board. And there's also just a pretty good chance that he doesn't kill it, so maybe my Medivh's Valet is live next turn. I could have played Azure Drake there, but it just dies so easily to like a backstab plus the dagger, since he has spell damage in play. Or the SI and dagger on its own just kills it. Hopefully he can't get too many buffs on this questing adventure. I'd really like to kill it with Medivh's Valet instead of Fireball. It's not that easy for him to have another card to play here. Can't be Backstab, because he damaged my Water Elemental already. Could be Deadly Poison. Could be Cold Blood, but Cold Blood isn't very good here. Got another pretty garbage Effigy. Feels bad. He got rid of my secret, so the Medivh's Valet isn't really a play. I think I do need to kill the questing. I think it's just too scary to leave up, so I guess I'm fireballing it. Leaves me with 4 mana. I can either play double 2-drop or just Water Elemental, and I think the Water Elemental is pretty clearly better. Water Elemental can fight the Azure Drake and live, and sometimes I get value out of the Medivh's Valet if I draw into a secret soon. And Sorcerer's Apprentice can get a lot of value combined with Kabbalah's Tome, because you get 1 initial discount and then you're pretty much guaranteed to get another to go with it.
I got the best deals anywhere.
This is looking pretty bad. Hopefully he doesn't have the second Conceal. Given how easily he played the first one, I think there's a good chance he has it. Okay, his hand is actually just minions. He played Prep hoping to draw into something, but he didn't. That's really nice for me. If I play Kabbalah's Tome, I'll have 4 mana. I need to leave myself with the option to hero power down the Gadget Sand Auctioneer after Water Elemental goes into it. I guess I can go Ice Block, Medivh's Valet, hero power on the Gadget Sand, and then use Water Elemental to clear the 4/2 Azure Drake. Just clear as much stuff off his board as possible. I guess along with that costs 5 mana. For 6 I can also play the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and I have to hero power, so that costs me 8. I think I just like the guaranteed removal of his stuff. I think I said it earlier, but a lot of the times the win condition against Rogue is just killing all of their minions, so they can't actually find the damage to kill you. So I like just killing his stuff. It does leave me with 2 pretty expensive, kinda clunky cards in my hand, which is, you know, not something you really like to do that often. Kind of interesting that he values killing the Sorcerer's Apprentice over the Water Elemental. But yeah, it leaves me with 2 5-drops in hand. Sometimes it's definitely nicer to have some flexible 2 and 3 mana cards. But I feel like the turn I had there was pretty good. Fortunately, this does allow him to clear. If I play Azure Drake, I'm hoping to draw into Frostbolt to clear that. Fireball clears it. Might be better to just play Kabbalah's Tome here. Kabbalah's Tome also gives me a really good chance of drawing into a secret to combo with the Tempo Mage. How many cards do I have? 14. Frostbolt is really the only super good draw, but the Fireball is also decent, so let's say 1 and 7 is good. I think I kinda like just getting more cards with the Kabbalah's Tome. Makes me more likely to have an answer for the Azure Drake. Turns out I didn't get an answer to the Azure Drake.
We have many secrets.
But I did pick up a secret. I do have an Ice Block in play already, and I have a lot of health. Wonder if I hero power his face. Set him to 17, I have 8 burst in hand. Not really that likely that I can draw into lethal. I think I want to just put damage on this guy to make sure I can kill him. But 1 damage in either location probably doesn't matter too much. I think at this point I really just want to try to run him out of resources. Backstab isn't the best thing to get with the Spellbender here, but it does leave up the Tempo Mage to contest the Azure Drake.
Thank you.
I guess the Spellbender, in a way, it kind of got the Eviscerate, because it forced him to play it after the backstab didn't work, so I guess I'm happy with that. If I draw Flame Strike here, I'm pretty happy. Looks like I'm not very happy. I'm guaranteed to be taking this 9 damage. Wonder if I just Frostbolt him here for 4, set him to 14. I have Mana Worm and Azure Drake in play. Probably not really worth it, he can just clear easily. I wonder if I just Mana Worm Polybore here. Put something on the board to contest one of his minions. Not that easy for him to kill a Polybore. I have 2 in my hand, they're not easy for me to use. Pressures his life total, pressures the board. I've seen a fair amount of his removal. If nothing else, it forces him to deal with it. And even if he can deal with it, I do still have just like a Frostbolt in hand to help deal with his board. With 2 Polybores in hand, like that deck doesn't even really have good polymorph targets. I guess he still has Edwin. So it's just pretty hard to find a use for 1 Polybore, so I may as well make use of one of my 2 while I have the opportunity. That was kind of risky, leaving up the boar right there. In fact, does he get punished for that? How much damage do I have in hand? I can deal 13 this turn?
What to do?
I have Ice Block in play, right? So I can just go for like a 2-turn lethal here. I think that's probably the play. I set him to 10, Polybore this, set him to 6, and then just Firelands Portal him down to 1. Let's go for that line. That's actually really annoying. I have to Polybore this now. I can't let him get the healing off of that. If he heals up for 8, there's a chance that I actually just can't win the game. I need to push the damage here. Polybore that guy. I think the only healing that he's likely to be playing is Earthen Ring Farseer, if any. And if he has Earthen Ring Farseer, Frostbolt Hero Power is still lethal. And he can't kill me because I have Ice Block, so I think this is actually a pretty safe play. I don't think there's actually like any punish for this in a typical rogue list.